This is the transfer review, where we give you all the great Manchester United transfer news over the last week. I'm of course not Stephen Nelson, I'm Statman Dave, so we're going to do things differently this week. We're going to throw stats in, transfers and all the rest of the fun. Let's do this. Transfer review, is that what we're calling it, yeah? First up, we've got to talk about Mateo Kovačić. Marca are reporting that there was some meetings at Real Madrid last week. Lopetegui and the Croatian central midfielder sat down and Kovačić told him he wanted to leave, he wanted to get out of Real Madrid. Kovačić is currently the fourth choice central midfielder for Real Madrid at the moment, behind the likes of Casemiro, Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. What Kovačić would bring Manchester United in central midfield is that ability to break the play, keep passing quite safe, but also get himself out of those high pressing situations. Kovačić completed 35 out of his 39 dribbles in La Liga last season. It's really difficult to get off the ball. He also slightly displaced Casemiro at sort of the back end of the Champions League season, having a really good game against Bayern Munich. The goal that Real Madrid scored, the opening goal, was a fantastic switch of play from Kovačić in central midfield out to Marcelo, Kroos and Ronaldo put the ball into the back of the net. But that is what you're going to get from Kovačić. Very high-octane central midfielder, capable of carrying the ball straight through midfield, a little bit like Paul Pogba. So for Manchester United, could be a very good signing in central midfield. Of course, Marca are reporting that he's set to leave Real Madrid, so United could step in there, maybe get a third choice central midfielder behind Paul Pogba, behind Fred, could be the perfect guy to add something else in that Man United midfield. Of course, Marca are also reporting that he's been linked with the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea and a whole host of other rubbish clubs, but of course, United should be the destination if Mourinho wants to strengthen central midfield. So I'm going to give this transfer a rating of 6 out of 10. Mateo Kovačić to United, 6 out of 10. I think it's potentially on if Mourinho wants to strengthen that area, but not as important as signing some fullbacks. So let's move on to talk about Boateng. No, it's not Kevin Prince, it is Jerome Boateng, the Bayern Munich centre-half. Sport Witness have been scouring the European papers as they always do, and Kicker are reporting over in Germany that Jerome Boateng will be available for around 50 to 60 million pounds. Could be some good business for United, who are lacking that centre-half that could really take them to the next level. Jerome Boateng at the World Cup put in some really good performances for Germany, but there was that red card as well. Jerome Boateng is always open to that slight mistake. A fantastic ball player, a brilliant athlete, but is he the right man for Manchester United? For me, maybe not. I think United have centre-halves like Jerome Boateng, the likes of Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelof, that are quite quick, very, very good on the ball. They lack that dominant character, that Bonucci, that Alderweireld, that guy that is going to lift the United team to the next level. So unfortunately, Kicker, you can sling it. Jerome Boateng, no thank you. You played down the road at the Etihad anyway. We don't want to see you around these parts. So Jerome Boateng to Manchester United, we're going to probably knock about a 3 out of 10 for that. Can't see that happening at all. So Man United are of course on their pre-season tour. There's a group of journalists that do follow the team around. Instead of the regular season where they're seeing them maybe one day a week, it's all the time, 24/7. So we're seeing some really interesting reports coming out of both Jamie Jackson of The Guardian and Paul Hurst of The Times. Those reports, of course, are that Alexandro, the deal is off, dead, finished. Maguire, though, is very much on. Harry Maguire, of course, starred for England at the World Cup. Arguably one of the breakout players of the tournament. 1 goal and 1 assist from a centre-back. England scored a lot of goals from set pieces. They scored the most of any team. Harry Maguire was the linchpin of that. England either would hang balls up to the back post for him to win it and knock it down, or just go straight for Maguire at the near post and look for that goal. Again, Maguire isn't just a sort of threat from set pieces. He's a very good ball-playing centre-back. Interesting how he can step out of defence into midfield. He completed 51 of his 60 dribbles in the Premier League last season. But also he has that ability to win the ball back, very physical, very, very strong, and arguably would be perfect for United. The only thing with me, it's 50 million quid. 50 million quid for a player that's obviously starred at a World Cup, but previously had played for Leicester City. An underrated player, but 50 million for me, that's too much. We'll see some more rumours later on with some more crazy money, but 50 mil for Maguire, I think United are being played a little bit there. But of course, it's being reported in the Times, so it could very much be on. That's the key thing there. We've got to remember those journalists are out with the team right now, so that may be giving us some better indication of this transfer going through. On the Sandro side, that is a little bit upsetting. Alexandro is a wonderful defender, very good at going forward in a defensive sense, absolutely fantastic. Arguably one of the top 3 left-backs in world football. Would be a great signing for Manchester United. Of course, though, Ashley Young is still there and obviously doing so well at the World Cup. So let's break this down into 2 separate ratings. Of course, Alexandro to Manchester United. Gonna give that 5. That could go either way. It could be the club maybe playing a little bit of transfer fun, or it could be very much off for Man United looking for other targets. In terms of rating Harry Maguire, I'm gonna go for 7 out of 10. I think this one is a little bit more likely than the Sandro transfer. the Daily Mail are reporting this story slightly differently, where they're sort of saying that Manchester United are in for either Bonucci, Alderweireld or Harry Maguire. Each one of those centre-backs would be good. In terms of my favourite, of course I'm going to go for Leonardo Bonucci. That guy is absolutely crazy. We've had 10 weeks so far of the transfer window and it's been bail in, bail out of Manchester United, and we're getting some reports from Spain, of course brought together by FootballEspaña.net, pretty much saying that he's going to stay and he's going to become the main man at Real Madrid. Of course, having talks with Lopetegui, Gareth Bale potentially could be moved to maybe the striking position. That could evolve him there. He's going to get some position where he can score some more goals. Again, Lopetegui liking to play someone like an Asensio as a striker. Maybe that's where we'll see Gareth Bale evolving, but very much off to Manchester United. I'm going to rate this a 2 out of 10. Game over, Gareth Bale. So let's move on to some more crazy amounts of transfer cash getting thrown around, and that is of course Willian, maybe on his way to Barcelona. Chelsea are looking to rebuild their squad under Sarri. Sarri very different to Antonio Conte in terms of playing style. One guy they can obviously flog is the Brazilian right winger. Barca are looking like they want to sign a winger given that Antoine Griezmann decided to stay at Atletico Madrid. But the reports in the Mail are basically saying that Chelsea would prefer it to sell Willian to Barcelona over Manchester United. Again, the relationship with Mourinho and Willian was fantastic at Chelsea, but £65 million is far too much cash for a 29-year-old winger that potentially has only got a few years left in his career. So let's rate both of those transfers. First, Willian to Manchester United. I'm going to give that maybe a 1 out of 10. I can't really see that given Chelsea's stance and how they don't want to sell within the Premier League. To Barcelona, though, I'm going to give that an 8. That is pretty much a transfer that I can see going through. Here's a new name for you guys in the world of football. Daniel Adzed, the 16-year-old central midfielder for Rochdale. Manchester United have been linked with him. Sky sources reporting that United are set to make a move for the youngster. In terms of the training camp this season for Rochdale, he's been breaking all the distance covered ratings. So could be a guy that'd be good for United to give them some energy. We're thinking about the last central midfielder that sort of moved from a lower league, Dele Alli. From MK Dons to Tottenham, we've seen how well that's gone. Maybe Daniel Adzed is going to be similar to that, a new guy that's going to come to the Premier League and take the league by storm. Or maybe just play for the under-18s for a few seasons. Who knows, eh? So let's move on to the outs. First up on the goalkeeper transfer merry-go-round, Joel Pereira could be off to Sporting Lisbon. Sport Witness, of course, have gone around the papers again, and A-Bowler have sort of picked up this story that Man United may be loaning the young goalkeeper to them for the season, which could be really good news. Again, Sporting Lisbon, they're in a bit of a mess as a club. There's been a little bit of dodgy stuff going on there. They don't have a goalkeeper at the moment, of course. Rui Patricio, their old number one, or last season's number one, has joined Wolves. So there is a hole there for a new guy to step in. It'd be a great sort of move for Joel Pereira to get some game time in a pretty decent league. I'm going to give this rumour a 10 out of 10. I think it's pretty much on. Of course, Lee Grant coming into Manchester United to be the third choice keeper means Joel Pereira's got to go out there and get him some game time. A 10 out of 10 for the first time in this video, so hit that like button. Anyway, let's move on to some more outs. On to the next rumour. Couldn't make this up. The Sun are reporting an Italian radio station that interviewed the president of Napoli and they want to sign Darmian. I'm going to give this a 0 out of 10. I can't see it going down. I think, though, Juventus could be where Darmian's going. It's sort of been linked for a while. Again, Darmian, you know, mates with a lot of the Italian players, the national team that play for Juventus. I think that move makes sense if Alexandro moves anywhere, if he goes to PSG or maybe Manchester United. But that's what I'm going to say, that absolute load of rubbish. So let's move on to some more Italian transfer news. The Calcio Mercato is reporting the Tuttosport as saying that Victor Lindelof could be on his way to Juventus. Daniele Rugani could be set to join Chelsea, which means Juve may be on the lookout for another centre-half. Victor Lindelof would be perfect for the Italian league, and I think at Juve he could learn a lot of things from the greats like Chiellini, but I want to see him at Manchester United next season partnering Eric Bailly at centre-back. So again, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10. Absolute rubbish. Lindelof ain't going to be leaving Old Trafford anytime soon. So we've got to talk about Anthony Martial in this transfer review. It's basically flipping by the day. Simon Stone reporting, a BBC journalist, that Martial was set to stay at Old Trafford. But that's flipped. Jamie Jackson, one of the guys that we were talking about before, one of the journalists that's going around with Manchester United reporting in The Guardian, Manchester United are set to sell Anthony Martial to a team that's not in the Premier League, looking to sell abroad, maybe to someone like Bayern Munich. These rumours are all over the place. It's left, it's right. We don't know what's going on, so we're going to give that a 5 out of 10 because who knows, eh? Simon's saying one thing, Jamie's saying another, so maybe Anthony Martial will be at United next season. Anthony Martial is one of the most talented young players in world football, and it'd be a massive shame to let him go. So good when the ball is at his feet. Something that I think Anthony Martial could develop, of course, is playing on that right wing. I'd love to see that. I think Anthony Martial is a very talented player. I think playing on that right-hand side could be a sort of an option for him to get into that first team squad, you know, competing with the likes of Chong, with the likes of Jesse Lingard again off the back of a great World Cup. I'd love Anthony Martial to stay, but maybe it's good for United to raise some funds. Right, it is time for the BS Bingo. We've had some good little suggestions on Twitter again if you want to get involved. Hashtag BS Bingo. Of course, you've got to tweet at FullTimeDEVILS as well. Give them a little follow if you don't already. But this week it's coming from Man United Updates. Of course, Bastos was on his way to Manchester United last week, but it was absolute rubbish. There was a troll involved on Instagram that was following United, that was doing this, that was doing that. Pictures of him being in Manchester. Utter rubbish. I want to give a shout out to Manchester Updates again for spotting this BS Bingo. Of course, if you want to be in this video next week, get that hashtag BS Bingo with all your BS rumours. Anyway, I've been Statman Dave this week. Of course, like that goddamn video and subscribe if you are new. Stephen Nelson is out, Statman Dave is in, and it's a lot better. See you later, guys.